Hello there.
There we go. Apologies for that. I think I was muted before. All right. So Jay Tatum, you said congrats on your finish. I've got you playing Iden Data Vault, so that is pretty cool. I didn't play Iden tonight because some people don't like the hard control side of things. So I thought I'd play a little bit of Yoda and see what this like. This list here is a list that won one of the Gen Con events. So I'm just looking at it to see, if there's anything I can learn from it based compared to the normal lists that we run. It's got things like Bendu and that in it. All right, so we draw here. Kiadi Mundi is not that great just because we don't have the force. So I think we can probably open fire here. Let's put that on the bottom. It's got things like Bendu. It runs the other mace. It also runs the Owen Lars and that in there. So I thought I would give it a go. Yeah. So I ran Iden in all my testing. Iden sort of had a much better win rate than the other decks, and that proved over the event. So I was super lucky to already have a day one buy, so I didn't have to fight through the swarms of people in day one. I could just go straight to the side events. All right, so what do you end? So we'll draw. Yeah, so I went straight to the side events and played there. Let's throw that on the bottom. We can play an Owen. And yeah, when I made it to day two, you got lots of great pricing. Like we got the Obi mat, we got the deck pod. There's like a Galactic Championship. I don't know if you can see it there. It says there's Galactic Championship and that on there. You got Obi-Wan sleeves. We got black packs. They really looked after us. We also got a lunch and that, so we got to meet a whole bunch of other PQ winners there as well. And yeah, it was really good. So I went 6-2 on the day two. It was at one stage I was 2-2. Right, so we can draw Ray here, which is really good for us. So we'll trigger. We'll do 2 there, 2 to base, because we don't want to have Boba popping straight away there. We'll trigger again. We'll put that on bottom. So yeah, I went 2-2 on starting out on day two. So I thought this is not looking too good. It looked like that I might drop out here, and I was able to clean sweep the rest of the day on the day two. So it was it was a really good lucky run. Put it that way. Okay, just before we move on, I think I just hammerhead the fire spray. I think here. Yeah, so I was 2-2 and then ended up finished 6-2. I went into Vaders, I went Vader Yellows, I went into pretty much so many Han 2s. At least half the matchups throughout the event were Han 2s. Let's just throw that on bottom. All right, so we can claim here. I might try and bring up the melee results after this. Let's get rid of the open fire. Then rivals. So Liam said, was hoping to get you or Clint on stream at the Galactic Championship, but Lunch got on there with Yoda Red. So that was cool that Lunch got on. I thought Lunch was going to run Palpatine at one stage. So that's interesting that she that decided not to go with what do we hit here? We want to kill that Ruthless Raider, so we might have to put Luke on top. Yeah, so that's interesting. I don't know what their record was when they finished up. Let's deploy Yoda. But yeah, I was hoping to get on stream, but because I had the early losses on day 2, I couldn't exactly make it. And yeah, then I was able to clean out the rest of the day, moving to 6-2. And I played. What was the amazing part about it was that I played people from like all over the place. Like I played a guy from Brazil, a guy from Italy, a guy from, these are all PQ winners. Canadian, the CST team, Canadian Snow Troopers or something like that. I played multiple people from Team Secret, SEKRIT, and that as well. So I played two of the people that were in the top 8. I played Michael C, I think his name is. He was on Hantu Blue, and then I also played the Hantu Green player that was in the top 8. And I also played Sip on day 2. He was running the same deck that Beton won the actual tournament with. Let me draw here, I think. Trigger. We also played on the... yeah, that game's ended. So we also played the draft. So we played side events on day 1. So day 1 was for me about side events, and that they weren't too organized for side events. It was lots of lines. We eventually got a draft and ended up drafting with Sip and Beton and one of the other Australian guys that come with me, and then some more random people. So we had a really good draft. Chatted with them quite a bit, and they kind of alluded that they had a really good deck. And so Beton obviously won, and I did get matched on Sip on day 2. So it was half of my matchups were Hantu. I had the other 2 were so out of the 8 on day 2, I had 4 Hantu matches, 3 blue, 1 green. I lost the green one, I think it was. And then I also lost to Towson, which was Sip on that day 2. The rest of the ones, I think I had a Yoda Red, Vader Yellow, and that as well. So that got me through to day 3. Day 3, I had Michael C on Hantu Blue. His was very geared against control, his deck, and that kind of wrecked the Iden sort of game plan. It was really anti-control. Like he ran Owen Lars, like the first turn Artie with Owen Lars both games, and I couldn't quite stabilize in that matchup. And then I had Boba Datavolt straight after that, so that kind of knocked me out of the top 32. And then I won against Sabine ECL in the very last match of the day. But Galactics was super fun. I got most of the cards that I wanted to get in terms of promos. I got like 3 Super Laser Blasts, 3 Snokes. Those were at the top of my list. And then I got like the Ray Kylo mat, which I wanted. I got the playset of Ray Kylos and that as well, so that I've got my Yoda deck, which is just here. It's ready to go. And I got the Ray Kylo mat, which is said. I got a whole bunch of other mats and that for coming like day 3 in the black pack. So they had silver packs and black packs. So silver packs you sort of got on the start of day 2 for getting past day 1. And what do we got? Kylo Green. All right, let's go that. So the silver packs are great because the silver packs had things like it had the Snoke in it, and it also had the Vader. So everyone wanted the Vader out of it. And then let's get rid of the mace there. It had the Vader, Snoke. It had a whole bunch of other pretty cool cards like Boba Fett, Han, etc. in that as well. Let's draw it here. Let's put that on top. We'll draw with C-3PO. So the silver packs are really cool, but then as you progress through day 2, the more wins you got, the more black packs. So they gave us like 2 black packs, and the black packs had like, you could only get them by winning in day 2 and day 3. And they had the Anakin in it. So Anakin and the Falcon were the big ones that you wanted. So I got a whole bunch of them. So the way it worked was that you got 2 packs on the start of the day. Then if you got 3 wins, you got like an extra pack, and then 4, and you got an extra pack, and then 5. So that was my goal really on day 2, was to just try and get as many wins as I can to get more of those packs, and that. So ended up with multiple Anakins, multiple Asajas. Yeah, it was crazy the amount of like promos that I ended up with. That it made it so worth it, and then even on day 3, we got like a Vader. So only the 73 people on day 3, we had the custom Vader, and that was really cool as well. All right, so just me. And that, so it was a shame to miss out on the day on the top 32, not to get the mat. But considering where I was on day 2 at 2-2, I was pretty happy with the way sort of things turned out. I didn't actually get to watch much of the stream or anything like that, so it is something that I'll go back and watch later on, and that as well. Right, so Liam says, nice cleanup card-wise, for sure. I'm still relying on participation packs on locals to hit missing rares and legendaries. Yeah. They were very generous in a whole bunch of areas in terms of, like, even like I got the Vigilance hat now, all decked out for that. And let's put the turret on top. And you would get like a whole bunch of participation promo packs. I've got like custom tokens and that now for like the X-Wing and TIE Fighter and the Clone Trooper and the Battle Droid. So, yeah, it was reveal and draw. It was really profitable for a lot of people, and I actually got the Vader showcase and that as well. So the disappointing parts about it was that there were a lot of lines, and a lot of things like either like sold out very early because people were like hoarding them or sort of game the system. Because what happened was that there was super long lines on day 1, and there was like a certain point in time where they allowed side event tickets to be transformed into sort of prize wall tickets without actually playing. So a lot of people sort of cleaned up there. So it didn't really affect me because I got what I needed sort of on day 1. And what they did also for the people that qualified for day 3, at the end of day 3 when we finished playing, they let us, they had a separate prize wall where you could actually go and get what you wanted, but it was only the promo cards, and you could only get one of each thing. So I had plenty of tickets, so I got one of everything, which means I didn't get things like the 3 Krennics and that as well. So let's put Rey on top. So yeah, it's in terms of the deck I took Iden. I still think that was the right choice. I just would probably make a few changes to the deck now to where it was. But yeah, it was it was the right choice for the time, I think. Let's get rid of the open fire. Yoda would have been fun. Oh, we better update the score here. Make it visible. What do we take here? I think we take the Luke. All right, so let's draw. We can put... We could play a Crate Dragon out here and deploy Yoda. Let's put that on top. We'll deploy Yoda with no draw to protect against Power of the Dark Side. All right. Yeah, the line. So Liam says, yeah, the lines and pricing ticket shenanigans seem to be the biggest complaints. Yeah, I don't know why it wasn't fully electronic, because they ran out of prize tickets. I mean, side event tickets early on, even when you went to go pick up your badge. So I don't know why it was not fully electronic. Hope it is next time. And then, yeah, the lines were just a bit all over the place in terms of, I'll play the Poe out there, in terms of lining up for the side events and that. Really, it should just be you register electronically and it tells you what table number to go to. But there were plenty of times where we were like waiting to go to a table and you're like waiting for the tables to free up, and you had to wait for a staff member to come and take your team. They actually had, like, on day one, they had electronic buzzers, but then they stopped working. And then they were trying to call out numbers, and it was just very chaotic. But they made adjustments halfway through day one, kind of made it a little bit better. And then day two was much, much better. But I was on the main event by then as well. So the surprising parts about it were the Kylo Red deck. That was pretty cool. A negative was that the whole spoiling of the deck list, that actually had like a negative impact on my lists particularly, because my item list that I was running was this one here, and I ran 3 Traitoruses, and it was like, as soon as your opponent saw that, it was like, well, that Gungi or whatever that I play on turn 1, I'm not going to put a saber and all that on it now. So it was worse for the Kylo Tarkentown players, but it was also for someone like me that had some particular cards in there, like Traitorous. Having your opponent just go through your deck list before you start was not great. So, yeah. Okay, so we've got the Kylo Ren suiting up here. All right, so we can just rivals this. And what's also interesting is that Kylo Red deck, or Kylo in general, I never got to play. I never got to play the whole tournament. I never got to play a single Kylo. Never got to play like a blue-green or another control player. All I did was play mid-range and aggro. That was it. So I was kind of counting on some wins like that, but yeah, never got to it. If I had a queued in a Gar Saxon, ECL, or a Kylo, it would have, yeah, it would have been an easy win, I think. All right, we are well in control of this one, I think. Let's play an Artie and let's play a Night Sister. There's our Bendu. I don't even know if Bendu is good in this deck. This is the deck that won one of the Gen Con events, so I'm giving it a go. All right, so yeah, what was the tournament like for the people that were watching it online? Because I never really got to experience any of that. I'm hoping next time to get on stream. That would have been super fun. And that the platform that they had was was great as well. So Like the whole setup was pretty professional. Okay. We can force throw. What do we need to throw at it? We need to throw a 5 and then we just play the crate, right? That'll do. Don't think you can get out of that. We've got Artie and the crate dragon there. So all things Fade says had to watch replays because of time zones. Yeah. Yeah, that's also the part was it like it's very cold in Australia at the moment, and going over there was like 40-degree heat the whole time. As when you're out, so you're either going from like air conditioning into out to the heat and then back and forth. So it took a while to adjust, but the venue itself was great. I stayed at the Flamingo, which is like a short walk and that to it. So it was a good place and a good time. Besides the side event queues, the main event was really, really good. All right, so let's keep that. We've got a whole bunch of like force throw stuff. So Liam said the stream was pretty good quality. Mate of mine, I basically blocked out most of the weekend and watched most of it. Only complaint is the overlay. Yeah, that seems to be the most common complaint is the overlay had the screen area was not great in terms of, let's claim there. He's going to kill it anyway. Was that the main screen area wasn't big enough. Like, all right, we'll get rid of that hammerhead. We'll play Artie. He'll do 2 damage. So this was, yeah, quite an innovative deck in that they'd put together to target the Han 2 red. I would have liked to have played this with my Iden Data Vault to kind of make them try and max out on the damage. All right, let's claim. All right, we don't need fell. We'll start with a force throw. So too much of the screen was taken up by cards in hand and play card images. The actual table camera was too small. That's the exact sort of feedback that I'd heard. Watching the replays, I couldn't really see the table, especially on the phone. Yeah, it's one thing that they have to consider is the form factor. All right, so he's going to pillage us. That's fine. I think we can. He's used Sarkin Town, so I think we try and keep our health topped up. Let's put Yoda on top. That seems to be a good draw. Yoda into the Ray into the resource row. The lists in the hands of the side were interesting, but I agree, way too big. Yeah. So the problem with the video format is that play Yoda is that yeah, it can't really be too interactive. Like you'd want things on the side or whatever if you're on like a normal website or something like that. That get rid of fell. That you'd want to be able to have the user turn those things on and off. But yeah, they should be maximizing for. Yeah, this is not looking great. All right, so let's draw. I'll put Luke on, I think on top. We'll play the warrior, then we can play Owen as well. We just want to keep the Luke so that we can take out one of these. So yeah, I never got to play a Kylo Red Tarkin Town the whole tournament, which was a little disappointing, but getting to play it now. All right, well, you can have the loot that's going to hit into one of my units. So we've got Chirrut. I think we take a Chirrut. All right, so let's put a card on top. Let's put that on the bottom. Not ideal because I need something to flip into here. I do have the Force. All right, let's go for it. Trigger. Wow, we got lucky. We got very lucky on that one. All right, he's going to Force Lightning. Well, so we can play a Chirrut here. We can take out that Long Pike. So yes, this was the Iden Data Vault lister that I ran. Open deck list hurt the Traitorous. Everything else was kind of fine. Disruptive Burst was probably... I thought I was going to hit a lot of 80 yellows. I only hit one. And the one I hit, I actually sideboarded them in, and I never even drew them once. And I was like, okay, well, that's a wasted slot. And I still beat the... still beat them and that as well. So, like, yeah. Okay, it's going to be able to... Wow, I cannot get rid of either of those two. Yeah, I think he just used the Force Lightning just to turn off the heal on Yoda. I think he's worried about me healing too much back there, so I think that's why he did that. We really need a Rival's Fall or something here. Okay, he deploys Kylo Ren but didn't do anything. That seems odd. Yeah, so with the Iden list, yeah, Disruptive Burst was probably only useless. I'd actually move one Snoke into the main. Having three Snokes was... Snoke was like one of the fire cards all day. So he Hotshot Blast, so there's no point. We can take that out. No point reducing it. Ki-Adi-Mundi is a very good draw there. All right. Move to 3-0. So the interesting thing with this Yoda list that I'm playing at the moment is that it did move to... It's not the right one. I'll join again. Yoda Red Galactic.
Hello there.
Where is it? Let me just grab the link again. All right, so you won the flip. I will keep. That looks a pretty good hand. Let's keep that one. All right, so we'll start with Artie going into either 3PO. We've got the draw. We don't need Your Only Hope in the Thrawn Yellow matchup. Yoda's probably not that great because of the No Glory. All right, so the list that we're looking at is this one here. So this is one of the ones that won one of the Gen Con events. 3 Crate Dragons. I think I only run 2 in my normal list. So I think 3 seems to be the way to go. So let's not play Yoda. All right, he can take that out. We'll put Ray on top. We'll play Owen and then we'll go into 3PO. We'll say 5 to get the card draw. We'll have to damage one of our units. So we'll damage Owen. Do 2 to his base. Alright, so we've got X-Wing, we've got Knight Sister Warrior. Have to be careful of his when defeated. So let's take out the Owen there. We can then trigger again. We'll put Ray on top. We'll call it again. That's 5. We'll do 2 to base and 2 to 3PO. And then we'll go Artie and Knight Sister Warrior. Bombing run is not useful. So we could expect Legacy run out here very soon. There we go. All right, so let's hit base. We'll say 2. It's not a 2. I'll try and draw. All right. Okay, I don't think we need Chirrut in this matchup. So Liam says, you headed to Sydney PQ next week to start putting points on the board. Or are you going to take a break? Well, I've just been on a break. The Galactics finished previous about 7, 8, 9 days ago. And I actually stayed in Vegas. We went to a whole bunch of shows, and that's why we were there. So I am quite refreshed at the moment. Let's put that on bottom. We can play a Poe out, which might challenge him here. So yes, I will be going to the Sydney PQ. I think the Brisbane one's on this weekend. So I won't be flying up for that. So my PQ plans, let's get rid of open fire. We'll start with the Kiadi. We'll draw some cards. So my PQ plans are Sydney PQ, and then 2 weeks later I think we've got Adelaide PQ. So some members of the Baddest Batch will be going to that one. So let's go U discard. We'll get rid of Thrawn. All right, we'll trigger. We'll put Ray on bottom. And then we'll deploy but not discard. All right, so that should put a little bit of pressure on him. We might play a blast. We'll play a Luke. Then pass. Okay, so I like the Owen here. Let's draw. Okay. Put that on bottom. We can't really outvalue him too much on card draw. So I think I'm going to say outvalue him in terms of like force throws and that as well. This should give us a little bit of protection against power. We should be able to draw here. We'll put that on bottom because we've got the Fell the Dragon. Yeah, so plans for PQ. Week and a half time is Sydney PQ. 2 weeks after that's Adelaide. Then I think it's I'm going to Canberra 2 weeks after that. And 2 weeks after that is Perth, which I am going to. And then Sydney's on right at the end. So we're going to a few this time, I think. How many is that? 2, 3, 4, 5. So hopefully I can get some points along the way. And yeah, start working on qualifying for the Galactics next year, which I do plan on attending. Even if I don't qualify or not, I think I will attend. And that there is going to be a sort of last chance qualifier tournament. Kind of annoying. Maybe I should have cut that first with that to stop this from happening. So we can, or I think we draw a Kiadi, right? We can draw. I mean, Mace is pretty good. We'll put the You'll Only Hope on the bottom. Then we'll force throw our opponent. Okay. Yeah, so pretty much every 2 weeks. So Alaric says, same, looking to qualifiers, or go to Vegas again. Yeah, it was a good time. Alaric and that did really well. I think I actually might get the VIP and that next time, Alaric, and that same as you. I don't know what you thought, but the being able to skip the lines seems like it's was a good deal. It's going to vigilance. A bit annoying. Maybe I should have played the crate out straight away. All right, I think we just claim here. We will get a hit straight with the crate, which should put him in range here. We have got a Ray as well. Ray can always chip away when you get in this range too with the 3PO. Yeah. All right, so move to 4-0. So yeah, what we were talking about the VIP, because especially on the last day, it was like, it took a long time to get even in the doors. Liam says you want to get those VIP tickets early as possible. Yeah, one thing I didn't get was the pins. You had to enter the convention, and then you had to line up to get the passport. Every time I went to get the passport, it was sold out in that as well. So Broken R2 says, new to the whole TCG world, what client or website are you using to play this? Thank you, Universe. So it's Carabast. You can see the name in the top left-hand corner. If you search for Carabast, you'll see the Star Wars Unlimited simulator. If you're not experienced with Star Wars Unlimited, I would suggest you search for Force Table. It allows you to play against the computer, like an AI type mode, and it'll show you how to play a little bit more forgiving than playing against human opponents. So Alaric says VIP experience could have been better. So I agree, especially on that first day when you got let in, but then they let everyone else in. But I think the VIPs and that should have separate lines even throughout the day. So if you want to go to the prize wall and you're a VIP, you should have your own special line. Same like lining up for a line at Disneyland, you should have your own line. All right, let's keep those. We've got a Luke Data Vault here. Let's just start with full card draw. Yeah, and even for like side events and that as well, the VIP there needs to be attached a bit more value on it. But yeah, getting in early is a big bonus. SWUDB is also linked to Force Tab if you want to make a deck or try someone else's. Yep. I think Force Table has the Spotlight decks preloaded on it, which is pretty cool. All right, so let's claim. All right, so we get done with R2 there. All right, let's get rid of Ray. Let's turn the Force on. Hopefully he doesn't hit us with the Chewbacca. Otherwise, otherwise that happens. All right, let's trigger. Got to kind of hope for like an open fire now. All right, so let's claim. Chewbacca's always a problem, especially R2 Chewbacca. It's an issue. All right, so we do have Your Mighty Hope, which is quite good in this situation. All right, so now we can draw. We'll put Ray on top and we'll Kiadi Mundi. Taken a lot of damage here, even before we deployed our leader. If he pings here, I might just actually just claim. No, he doesn't. Because we've copped 7 3 times here. So let's get rid of the Artie. The force throw is really good here. Okay, we're nearly dead. All right, what do we do here? I think we start with the force throw, right? Discard. Okay, a 3. Is there a way we can set up for the Ray? Yeah, I think we need to kill the Masterpiece. We need to draw and we need to get something here. So Hammerhead is good. We'll put Hammerhead on top and we'll Your Mighty Hope it. So Your Mighty Hope will cost, it'll cost us 3 for this. Play for free because we're 5 or less damage. All right, well, let's get rid of the 3PO. If he deploys Luke, we can rivals it. Okay, well, we can rival Luke. Kind of in a good position now because we've got our Yoda flip. The Yoda flip will allow us to defeat a unit on deploy. All right, he's finished that one. All right, so it's 5-0. So we've had a pretty good run so far with Yoda Red.
Hello there.
Which is this link here. I'll just post it in the chat. So that's the Gen Con winning list for one of the pods. I'm not sure about the Bendu, and I haven't played this maze, so it's very similar to the normal list that we run here. Okay, so we've got, yeah, so let's keep that. We'll get rid of an open fire this time, and maybe a Ray. We can throw a Crate Dragon at something here. All right, we'll play Artie. Hopefully we don't get punished too much here. There was an option where you could have just claimed there and open fired that to start with. But we'll see what he plays. He's going to play something for 5, so it could be a blue leader. That would probably be the worst case scenario. The Virgin's Temple gives you the force if you've got a unit with 4 HP or more. Okay, so it's not a... not a blue leader. All right, so I am going to get rid of this consular because it is way too dangerous. All right, well, we'll put the crate on the bottom now. And then you've got to have a unit with 4 or more HP. So if we attack him with Artie, then he's not going to be able to generate the force this turn. I would have liked that Luke. There, but especially for the Your Mighty Hope. So we could have Your Mighty Hope a Poe out here as well. That's a tough call. Let's go for it. All right, so he's going to run in. All right, so let's put Poe on top. This is good for us because he doesn't get the force again. All right, we can play the Poe here. Poe will clear both of those if we need to. All right, 3PO. Don't think we need. We've got Kiadi with the force throw. So yeah, I had a great time at Galactics. It was so cool to see everyone there, and it was the biggest tournament that I've ever played in. It was 2,000 people. The biggest PQ we've had here in Australia is 100 people, so it was 20 times that, but it ran super smoothly, and more importantly, everyone that I played against was all super nice. There was no like issues, gameplay, no saltiness, nothing. Like it was, and I think that's discard up 3 cards. We'll discard the bell. We'll do 2 damage. Like I think that's a reflection of the Star Wars community. It's a bit more mature than most other communities out there. So I was yeah, had a really good time while I was there. And I'm really looking forward to next year now. We're already starting to plan to get the majority of our team, the Baddest Batch, over as well. So just got to get people qualified and that, because it really does help to skip out on that day 1 to get to straight to the day 2. Okay, so Kiadi Money's going to draw here, and he's going to trigger Ray. We're going to be able to get a 2 damage on this Obi-Wan. So Liam says he's been trying to figure out a Barriss red deck using Temple of Disruption, running a bunch of early 3 power, and then getting 1 cost surprise strikes and free. Force throw, sadly clunky. Yeah, I can remember playing. Let's go for the force throw here, because we don't want him to be on the force. So that gets him off the force. I think Veiled Shot, he had a video or something, and I played him in the video, and he was let's get rid of the Ray there. He had like a early kill deck and that as well. So Mr. Roach says, how do you play this? It looks fun. So this game is called Star Wars Unlimited, which is a let's just play Owen there, which is a collectible card game. It's normally played in person. This is a fan-made simulator and that for it. So if you search up Star Wars Unlimited, you will see what it's all about there. Okay, right, let's play Yoda. Let's draw. We'll put the other Yoda on the bottom. I think we just pass there. So that's, yeah, search Star Wars Unlimited. This one is Karabast, is the name of the fan simulator for it. So if it's Karabast, Karabast. So we're not in a bad spot. Where we can get in trouble here is things like Keller and Beck, home ones, could cause us a little bit of problems. Need to get this Obi-Wan off the board. All right, so let's take out Obi-Wan. The Force is with me. We'll get two heal, and it allows us to also trigger Yoda. Yeah, I think we're okay with that. What I can do is play Chirrut down, or I could play Luke. I think we do just play Luke to take out Obi-Wan. Then we can load the other Luke into the top of the deck with Yoda, who on deploy will draw a card, and its cost or less, equal or less, will be defeat a unit. So, all right, we'll trigger. All right, so let's draw. Put Luke on top. Deploy Yoda. We'll trigger. We'll take out Luke. Also take out the Yaddle. All right, we'll get rid of Artie there as well. Salim says, come to think of it, I don't know if there are any especially good learn to play videos going around for SWU. Thought about making a tutorial or could do it in levels like those wide videos. Yeah, I thought there was a learn to play on the Star Wars Unlimited that explained the rules and that. I'm sure they've got something for it. But yeah, I don't know if there's any videos that really explain it that well. I can remember, I don't know, about March last year, I wasn't even sure what Star Wars Unlimited and that was. I just went along to one of the pre-releases, and I think I learned just by playing on Force Table was how I learned it before I turned up to the event. All right, let's just keep it pushing base. We're in a pretty good spot here. I'll play Chirrut out as well. So in terms of what I think the meta will do going forward, I think a lot of people overestimated how strong Han 2 is. I think Han 2 is a strong deck, but it proved to not be the top deck like people were expecting. I think it got targeted quite a lot. Let's just spell that one there while we're there. So I don't actually think they're going to make any balance adjustments in the short term. One thing it is a little bit of concern that the red has pushed out a lot of the other aspects. So you kind of have to play red force. It's kind of pushed out blue-green. Heroic is just like non-existent. So that's the only sad part for me as someone who liked to play blue-green heroic. But I think it's time for sort of the red heroic and the red in general to have its time in the spotlight. Let's just keep pushing base here. We'll you go. Yeah, so Liam said he's made and he made an impulse decision to split the starter. Yeah, that's what I was like. I was trying to find a place that had the pre-release. Then I eventually found one about an hour's drive away, and then yeah, I turned up. There's like 30 players there, and everyone was cracking packs. I think I played Jin as my sealed leader. Won all the games, and then I sort of hooked from then. I used to play like a little bit of Magic and a lot of Hearthstone. Was what I used to play, and I played the old Decipher Star Wars one a long time ago. All Things Fade said, read the rules, completely had my head still in MTG rules from high school years ago. Look at actually playing with people to learn. Yeah, yeah. I think that is most people's experience in that as well. It is concerning when they keep adding sort of like keywords or rules each set.
Hello there.
I do worry about sort of the newer players' experience and that for it as well. I'm not sure if I incremented the score. It's 6-0 at the moment. I don't know if I pushed it. So this is not a great hand for Vader Yellow. We actually need let's get rid of guess the hammerheads. We actually need the bombing runs to come out here. Liam says a challenge mode in MTG PC games where you're given a specific board state and told to win in a certain number of moves. Yeah, a SWU version would be cool for that. I agree. All right, so let's go 5. Let's try and high roll. Because if we go 5, we're either hitting the bombing run or array. Either one will work. Right. In this matchup, you don't need Luke because if you get to Luke stage, it's sort of out of control. All right, so let's high roll again. 5. Actually, that was a mistake. We probably, even though now it worked out really well, probably should have hit one of those, then use Yoda's ability, then drew a card. But this actually works out better. All right, so let's draw. We'll put that on bottom. Then claim. Well, we got the bombing run, and we've got the ray. Kiadi is not doing anything. But we just may have to play it because we don't have anything else. Wow, okay, we hit the bombing run with the 3PO draw. So we're running 2 bombing runs in this list, and that's why we run for this kind of matchup. All right, we'll play Kiadi Mundi just so we can get the force going. We can claim and we'll open up with a bombing run next turn. Plays that very clone combat squadron. It should be a full clear. It's interesting that he played that. He saw that we drew a bombing run. All right, we can put Ray on the bottom. We'll also get a card draw here. We'll also get a Ray trigger. Thanks to the 3PO. It always feels so good playing a bombing run against a Vader. We still have to deal with the Vader unit, unfortunately. So yes, as I was talking about the PQs, so I have 5 PQs. I'll be attending this set, 1 every 2 weeks. At this stage, I'll be playing Iden at the first one. But I may switch to this. Okay. No good to me dead. All right, we will just claim then. Alright, so we still can't get a trigger. Alright, let's get rid of 3PO. Start with the Night Sister Warrior. Well, that's problematic. Alright, I think we just have to claim. Why didn't he deploy Vader? Don't understand why he didn't deploy Vader there, because now I can just Luke that unit. He should have put Vader on the Phantom, and that would have made things very difficult for me. Alright, so I'm just going to jump straight out with Yoda here, because it will kill that starfighter. Alright, we just keep pushing damage now. He may try and barrage us, but we're okay with that. Alright, let's high roll, try and get a rivals. The Bendu. Bendu would be interesting in this matchup. Deal 3 damage to all other units. We haven't seen a Force Throw. Force Throw would be really good with Kiadi-Mundi here. You can do, as a barrage, you can do 11, which he could clear out Kiadi and Luke. Alright, keep pushing. So I did meet a whole bunch of people while I was over there that listened into the channel. So that was really good to meet those people, and then and hearing their stories about, you know, when they would tune in, what they would actually like. I had one funny interaction with a person, and I go, yeah, sometimes I don't know really what deck to stream or whatever, so I don't like playing like the hard control ones in front of, you know, people, because they find it boring. He goes, yeah, I never click on those videos, and I'm like, yeah, that's what I thought. So that's why I play decks like this, because those other decks are good for a tournament, but they're not really good for viewing and that as well. So I think Yoda Red is one of those
Hello
kind
there.
of fringe decks that will spike every now and again. So you're going to see PQs definitely won by this deck, but it won't be the dominant deck that let's say Talzin and Kylo and that would be. Okay. All right. So I like the rivals, and I like the Night Sister Warrior start. So let's keep that. Get rid of the bombing run. We can get rid of one crate. We'll try and cheat out a big unit here. I actually do think that there is something still to the Thrawn data vault. All right, this is good. This is good. We'll force throw him to start. We don't want him putting a Chewbacca on here. We had that in that other match, and we barely got away with it. So will force throw get banned is probably the bigger question that most people have. I don't think it's going to get banned until midway through the set, if at all. All right, so let's draw. Let's keep Yoda on top. Let's force throw again. That way we can get a full clear on these village protectors. We'll draw the Yoda up and then we'll play an Owen. Alright, I don't think we need the Hammerhead. We kind of want to keep the crate in this matchup. We've already lost one crate. Alright, we'll play the Yoda down. Alright, let's claim. He was able to double shield it, which is pretty cool. Oh, I guess we are losing a crate. The Poe is just too good here not to use it. So all things fade. I never enjoyed playing against yellow exhaust decks, so I never played them. Liam says, I don't mind exhaust as long as it wasn't paired with blue removal or Django. Yeah, the hard control blue yellow, that is the... So I don't mind the ramp one, play big units with control, but the ones that... the blue yellow, especially when you're playing control, it feels like a losable match. Like the old Boba yellow deck, blue yellow, that was Boba blue. That was a rough match into it. All Things Fade says, sad for me because I actually pulled a Django showcase. I wanted to use him, but I can see how annoying he would be with the token spam. Yeah, Django was super powerful when it was out. Like, okay. I think we just claim here. Lucky didn't put a shield on Chewbacca. That would have been problematic. Alright, let's pop the shield off. See what we get. Wow, that is super lucky. So what happened there is we drew the ray off the top, and that allows us now to clear the village protectors. Some days you high roll with this deck. That's just what happens. Other days you would never see ray. And then speaking of that, you can see here that I had the locals tonight, so I had to take the deck. So this is the ray unit. Yeah, I've got 3 of them in my Yoda deck, which is super cool. I'm pretty happy that I was able to do that. I'm going to discard, and I'm going to make him discard a card. And then also with that, to pair with that as well, is another mat from the prize wall, which was this one here. I don't know if you can see. It gets blurred out, but you can kind of see the Ray Kylo. And that was day one. I grabbed this mat, and then I also grabbed 3 Super Laser Blasts, which was very lucky because they did sell out early on. But the best mat that I got was thanks to Sim, who's part of Late Night Gaming. He's a really cool dude. He got me from the content creator panel the Ewok deck, Ewok mat, which is the Village Tender. That is a really cool mat. All right, we can rivals here. I was like super stoked when I got that mat, because if I can pick all the mats, that is one that I would definitely choose. And then I've also got a brand new one as well from my team. And this one is a custom baddest batch mat. So this one here, oh, how's that look? It's just kind of cutting the blue out, but it's blue. And it's got my name down in the corner. So there's a baddest batch team. So that's the one we will be taking to the PQs. That's interesting because it can sort of clear now. Defeat an upgrade. We'll defeat the shield. Okay, so Bronze Yon Royce says, "Do you think Iden is better positioned into meta than Kira?" Yes. She had a much better win rate than Kira on day 2, 3 of Galactics. Yes. I think the heal at this point in time adds up as well. Let me just handle this part here. Put Luke on bottom. And we'll just take a high roll on the Yoda here. The only thing we don't want to hit is force throw. When we hit the squadron. We'll Kiadi Mundi to draw 2 cards. Play C3PO. We'll say 2. Okay. Yeah, so I think Iden is better positioned at the moment just because of the heal. And you have to kind of not play it like the traditional Kira where you've got like units all the way up and you're shielding and all that. You just get done too much with value from the Force decks with Kiadi Mundi and, Force Lightning just going straight through your shields and that as well. You have to kind of build it more like a hard control deck. So you're talking removal all the way through and then just big units at the top. I think that's how you build blue-green. And I think the conversion rate that you saw from Iden throughout the championship, I think 7 decks went into day 2. 3 of them went out. So it's like a 40% conversion rate. So it was definitely the best way to win blue-green. There was 3 decks that sort of made it into sort of the top 40 or so. So there was Iden that finished, Daniel was on that and finished maybe 14th or 18th or something like that. His was the list that I just shown then. And then next was I think a Gar ECL. And then there was also a Kira as well in there. So, and then I was just below that on the other Iden. All right, so let's keep that one. That looks pretty cool. Do I think Secrets of Power will have Ewoks? No. I think if I was to bet, I think what will have Ewoks will be Homeworlds. So they announced the names of the set for next set, and I think the Homeworlds one will have the tribal synergy, which will have things like the Ewoks. It'll have like the Gungans and the Naboo sort of trait. So that's where I think you'll see it. But they may sprinkle in an Ewok unit or 2 in the next set. All right, let's get rid of Bendu. I don't know about Bendu in this set, in this deck at all. It's, I think I would rather the Mace unit. Salim also says, I think we might get a healthy helping of Ewoks next set. We get a wicket, we need to find a way to get it signed by Warwick Davis. That would be very cool. We kind of missed our chance here, but I wanted to activate the Force. So let's make him discard. All right, breaking in. All right, let's claim. Hopefully we'll hit a Ray unit. We did hit a Ray unit, but it was part of the draw. So maybe the correct move should have been to Force Throw myself, given that we were going to Kiadi Mundi. Someday, all the luck is with you, and that's one of these days. Okay, so he's going to play Anakin. I think we draw again. Put that Ray on bottom. Hit base for 2. All right, now we're going to hit Kiadi Mundi again. We're taking some damage. All right, let's get rid of the mace. All right, so he's going to hit with Poe. What we can do here is hit him in for 4. Put Ray on top and then draw. Ryan get a force throw here. I think we might have messed this one up, but all right. So we did get a Luke. The force throw. No, we shouldn't have got rid of that bombing run actually, because we have no way to get rid of that fireball. Yeah, he got us on that one. I think I tried too greedy in terms of that first force throw on that unit. I should have force thrown myself, given that I had Kiadi. So that was a little bit too greedy on that one. All right, so this is the same format as normal. 10 games. We're now actually just dropped our first one, so we're now 8-1. Let's see if we can finish at 90% tonight. This seems fine. Let's keep this. It's always good when you got Yaddle into like a force unit into Kiadi. Open fire gives us that middle. Don't know about this mace. Get rid of the bombing run there. Okay, so Liam also says Homeworlds makes a lot of sense, and probably a lot of Wookiees too. Yeah, I agree. Bronzy on Roy says, thanks for your insight thoughts. Trying to decide on a deck for this early PQ season. My advice is decide the archetype that you like to play first. Whether you like to play aggressive and aggro, or whether you like to play mid-range, or whether you like to play control. And then work out what's good from that. We've got so much more information than what we have in the past. We've got websites like Swoo Competitive, where you can see all of the information about decks that are winning in what tournaments and that as well. So I would decide what archetype first and what I'm comfortable playing in, because in the end you do want to have fun playing the game and that as well. So you could play what it is the best deck, but if you're not having fun, then you're kind of wasting your time in that there. So we've drawn range. So I always like to play mid-range or control, but I've got friends that all they do is play aggro and that as well. So let's claim here. We'll get rid of Yaddle there. Let's run in first. Let's see what he does. So yeah, I would decide what to play from there. Now, if you like hard control, I think Iden Data Vault is one of the best hard control decks in the current format. Let's draw. What do we want to play here? Because we do have Your Only Hope. So with a full list of things that here are open to us. Let's put the Hammerheader on top. It's not enough to kill Luke. Only 6. if he plays a Obi-Wan, could be in a little bit of trouble here. We can't force race ourselves and kill it, so let's drain one of his cards then. Let's pass. All right, so we've got another raid, so we can get rid of that. If you like playing aggro, then your choices really are Sabine ECL, a Kazuda Red type deck, Kazuda Blue, or even Vader Yellow. I would pick in that as well. All right, so we want to play Fell and we want to play one of our units here. Let's draw first. Open fire on the bottom. We'll play Fell and then Artie. So. All right, so now we've got the crate to throw as well. If you like playing mid-range, then it depends. Hantu Blue is a great choice. All right, so let's take that shield off. Hantu Green is a great choice. You've got Obi-Wan Blue. You've got, what else? Talzin, if you like the villainy aspect of it. And if you like soft control, then things like Kylo, the new Kylo, is the way to go as well. All right, let's get the Concord Dawns before he puts a shield on it. All right, so let's draw. Let's put Ray on top. Deploy Yoda. We'll trigger to kill the Restored Arc. We'll force ray him. See what he has. It's a clone. Well, I think I'm going to keep my force row and just drop out some more units. We've got crate coming out soon. All things Fade says, I find playing Blue Moff Tarkin deck fun, but wondering if Snoke would be better than just an Imperial version. Yeah, well, Snoke can cover a lot more stuff than just Imperial, so it depends on the makeup of your deck. Tarkin's not a bad deck as well. All right, so let's... We can kill the adult here. We'll get rid of Arrival's Fall to defeat an upgrade. I think Cad Blue is pretty cool as well. There's just... The meta's quite open at the moment, even though it feels like Hunt's dominating. I actually think the Tarkin Town decks are quite good, so something like a Quinlan Tarkin Town or a Cad Tarkin Town. It's part of the reason why I took opponent discards. That I took Iden was that I thought a lot of people would be on Cad, so they can counter the Huntus, and then I could hunt the Cads there, which, you know, a quarter of my matches on day 2 were the Cads, so kind of worked out. All right, so there we have it, 9-1. That was with the list, the Yoda Red from the Gen Con one. Kind of messed up that, I think that 8th or 9th game. But other than that, it was quite smooth sailing. And that it was against that Poe Yellow. I think I took it too easy on that one. It did run the 2 bombing runs. We did hit a Vader Yellow. So that paid off. The Mace did absolutely nothing. And the Bendu did absolutely nothing. So... I'm probably just playing them wrong. but I would probably have them as maybe a third hammerhead or even a mace, set one mace as well. I did like the extra crates. I don't think I missed the secret sages, and the Owen Lars's were really good as well in terms of drawing Rays and Lukes and that. So I'd probably make a couple of changes to this, but yeah, I think it's a good list if you're after a Yoda Red list. 9-1, not too bad for our first sort of stream back from Galactics. And as I said, I'll be prepping for PQs, so expect a mix of this type of decks. I may even do a stream on the Iden. We may even look back at Thrawn, and we can also look at Kylo Data Vault as well. Kylo Tarkentown one, probably not really my style, but I think it's always good to practice on other people's decks to understand how they work and that as well. So that's it for me tonight. I will catch everyone later. And yeah, it's good to be back from Galactics, and 51 weeks to go, and I'll be back there, and I hope to see some of you at Galactics and that next year. All right, well, catch you later.